Rookie Blue is a Canadian police drama television series starring Missy Peregrym and Gregory Smith. It was created by Morwyn Brebner, Tassie Cameron, and Ellen Vanstone. The police drama premiered on June 24, 2010, at 9 p.m. Eastern/8 p.m. Central, and airs on Global in Canada and on ABC in the United States. On July 17, 2013, ABC and Global announced that Rookie Blue was renewed for a fifth season. Unlike previous seasons, Season 5 will consist of a total of 22 episodes. On March 24, 2014, ABC and ET Canada announced that Season 5 will start on July 17, with both ABC and Global airing half of the episodes this summer and the other half at a later date. Rookie Blue, originally slated to premiere on July 17 and air in the Thursday 10 p.m. slot, will now slide to 9 p.m. and start its season a month earlier, on June 19 on ABC. On June 25, 2014, Universal Channel revealed it would air Season 5 in the UK, with the premiere on July 20, 2014, at 9 p.m. On May 19, 2014, Global aired the premiere of the fifth season, a month ahead of its American counterpart, a first for the series. Plot. There's something really primal about the idea of being a rookie. It hits that horrible, eternal sense of feeling like a fraud, like a kid dressed in grown-up clothes, trying to pretend you know what you're doing. And I thought, what if you were feeling just like that, but with a gun? Tassie Cameron, executive producer. The series follows the lives of 5 rookie cops from fictional 15 Division who have just graduated from the academy. Training's over, life begins. They must learn not only to deal with their duties as police officers, but also deal with the problems and expectation of their families and friends. They are first responders and they are about to learn that no amount of training prepares you for life. To serve, protect and is usually used in the parade room before shift starts by the cop leading the reunion. It always has a significant meaning in the episode plot or context. The one they use more often though is to serve, protect and don't screw up. It has been described as Grey's Anatomy in the world of rookie cops. Setting: the series is set in Toronto and, though similar to Flashpoint and Orphan Black in that it does not make overt references, it does use local street names, such as King Street, Yonge Street and Jameson Avenue in Parkdale was the location of a call-out in the pilot episode. Cast: Rookies. Missy Peregrym portrays Andrea McNally, the series protagonist. She is driven by the desire to do the right thing even if it means not following procedure. Her father, Tommy McNally, was formerly a homicide detective before he burned out. As a result, McNally carries her father's baggage, trying to prove herself. Andy is the most positive person on the job, because she knows firsthand where the job can take you, and she does not want to go there. Her mother, Claire, is a social services worker who abandoned them when Andy was a teenager. She studied psychology before becoming a cop and she was an A student. She begins a relationship with homicide detective Luke Callahan, and the two move in together at the end of Season 1. Although she previously kissed and almost had sex with Sam Swerk, her training officer, before walking out on him, something that leaves them in discomfort for several episodes. She later becomes engaged to Callahan but breaks up with him after he slept with his ex-girlfriend, Detective Joe Rosati. She finally confesses that she has feelings for Swerk, but he has already left on an undercover mission. The last 3 episodes of Season 2 show viewers the beginning of Swerk and McNally's relationship, even though he is undercover, which leads them both to suspension for conduct unbecoming, when they are discovered. In the beginning of Season 3, Andy returns from a trip after her 3-month suspension and gets her job back as well as restarting her relationship with Swerk. When her mother suddenly appears in her life due to a work case, she decides to let her back in after she asked for a second chance. After Detective Barber's death, Swerk breaks up with her, which causes a lot of pain for Andy. After a month and a half, and in a life-threatening situation when she is holding a grenade, Swerk says to her that he loves her and then he tries to get her back. Then Detective Callahan asks her to participate in a task force, which will keep her isolated and away from 15 Division during the mission. She accepts but has to leave immediately, which leaves Swerk drinking at the Penny while waiting for her. In the first episode of Season 4, when she returns, she finds out Sam has been dating Officer Marlowe Cruz while she was gone. Later on, Nick confesses his feelings for Andy, and the two embark on a new relationship. When Sam gets shot in the Season 4 finale, she goes in the ambulance with Sam, and then tells him she still loves him. Gregory Smith portrays Dov Epstein. He was a sickly asthmatic kid who watched reruns of Starsky and Hutch in bed, and his older brother, Adam, killed himself, something that Dov still does not understand. His parents were hippies, but his grandmother paid for him to have a private education. He is often shown to be overeager to get involved in everything even when it is not necessary for him to do so. This characteristic has gotten him into trouble many times, so much so he has been told to slow it down. However, in Season 2, Epstein's desire to be heavily involved enables him to save a man's life. He is Chris Diaz's best friend and roommate, and later Gail's roommate as well when she moves in with them. In Season 2, he meets and becomes involved with Sue, a bomb technician from ETF, whom he always tries to impress, thinking he does not deserve her. They break up when he develops feelings for Crystal, the sister of the boy he shot and killed. In Season 4 he has a one-night stand with Chloe Price, a woman he met in a bar and later finds out to be Frank's goddaughter as well as 15 Division's latest officer. By the middle of the season, however, the two of them have started a relationship. Charlotte Sullivan portrays Gail Peck. She spent a few years as a half-goth. Underneath her caustic exterior, Gail is vulnerable and feels lonely. Because of her connections to high-ranking officials in the police force, she is often seen by others as getting preferential treatment. Her mother is a superintendent, her father is an inspector, her brother a successful narcotics detective, and her godfather is the chief of police. Because of this, she feels the need to prove to herself and others that she can do the job without help, which further isolates her. In the first season, she develops a relationship with Chris Diaz. However, the two break up in Season 2 because Chris believes that she likes Dov. In the third season it is revealed that she was previously engaged to the new rookie, Nick Collins, with whom she begins a new relationship. Later, she was kidnapped by a cab driver after working undercover as an escort and was rescued. When she takes the fall for a shooting in the 15 Division, her job is questioned, but they give it back to her with a condition that she will be treated as a new rookie. Gail ends up isolating herself between her and her friends due to the way she treats Chloe. Due to jealousy and unresolved feelings, she claims to have cheated on Nick with a detective who worked with him and Andy during their sting operation. She and Nick broke up. Later in Season 4, she ends up meeting and befriending Holly, a forensic specialist, new friend, and lesbian. The two share a brief kiss in the coat closet at Frank and Noelle's wedding and kiss again after Gail is shotted in the penultimate episode of Season 4. The two begin a new, tentative relationship. Anuka Okuma portrays Tracy Nash. The calm in the eye of the storm and the consummate confidant, Tracy is the anchor for her fellow rookies. She is also practical and responsible, likely the result of having had a child, Leo, while in high school. She is a single mother trying to find the balance between her work and her family. Complications arise both at work and at home as she once dated Detective Jerry Barber until she decided to try and get back together with her son's father, Dex. She is always trying to focus on her son and do everything that is best for him. However, this sometimes gets in the way of her being a police officer. She later starts a serious relationship with Detective Barber, culminating in an engagement. In Season 3, Tracy becomes a detective in training. She is devastated when Detective Barber is murdered in the line of duty. In Season 4, Gail's brother, Steve Peck, returns. He is a detective from Guns and Gangs and he develops feelings for Nash. She is wary at first to start a new relationship with him, after Jerry's death. She is also worried about her son Leo getting attached to another man. But Peck proves to her that he is serious about her and the two started dating. Travis Milne portrays Chris Diaz. He is often seen as taking the by-the-book approach. He believes in the chain of command, following orders, doing the right thing, and above all, he believes in defending the weak. Despite this seemingly good trait, it makes him unable to take initiative. He was brought up in a small black-and-white town. He becomes involved in a relationship with Gail Peck until he is forced to notify the authorities of corruption that Peck's brother's partner was involved in. This temporarily costs him the relationship with Peck. However, the two reconcile and are seen happily together in the beginning of Season 2. Their relationship becomes strained later when he thinks that she has feelings for Dov. He accepts his role as a dad after being confronted with a baby by his previous girlfriend in the series, Denise. He considers a transfer to Timmins at the end of the third season because Denise does not want to live in the city. She thinks it is dangerous, and he does not want to be away from his kid. In the 5th episode of Season 4, Chris accepted his transfer to Timmins early and leaves, only saying goodbye to Oliver. However, he reappears in the 9th episode of Season 4 when he comes to visit for the long weekend with Denise and Christian. Christian is later kidnapped while under the care of Andy, and it is later to be revealed that he was kidnapped by his biological father, Gene Mackenzie. In Episode 10, it is revealed that Chris transferred back to 15 Division, hence implying that he and Denise were no longer together. Peter Mooney portrays Nick Collins. He appears for first time in Season 3. He is a former soldier who served for 4 years, including a tour in Afghanistan, before becoming a cop. It is said that he was engaged to Gail Peck, and they were ready to marry in Las Vegas before he enlisted. When he comes back, they start a new relationship. His military training and experience is often considered as positive by his fellow colleagues. In the Season 3 finale he is selected as the other officer to participate in Callahan's task force, and while on the task force, he develops feelings for Andy. He eventually breaks up with Gail when he finds out that she slept with someone else. He was with Andy at the park when Chris' son, Christian, was kidnapped by his biological father in What I Lost. He and Andy sleep together in the same episode. Priscilla Faur portrays Chloe Price. She appears for the first time in Season 4, when she is first introduced as a one-night stand of Dov and then later revealed to be Frank's goddaughter and the newest rookie to be transferred to 15 Division. Dov later finds out that she was still married, but had never gotten a divorce. Old guard, Ben Bass portrays Sam Swerk. He is known as a rogue cop because he follows his instincts, even if it means sometimes breaking rules. Formerly an undercover officer working on a money laundering operation, his cover was exposed when McNally arrested him, believing him to be a suspect in a murder case. He returns to 15 Division as a training officer for the rookies, awaiting a position to open up in guns and gangs. In Episode 7 of Season 1, Andy, upset and confused, goes to see him at night and almost sleeps with him. This makes their relationship awkward afterward, but the two talk and make amends later. Although McNally is his love interest, he insists that their relationship is strictly professional. But in Season 2 there still might be hope for McNally and him because of McNally's fiancé Luke Callahan cheating on her. During Episode 10 of Season 2, he went back into undercover operations before he had the chance to become romantically involved with McNally. However, they meet in the following episode and finally hook up. After getting suspended, he asks Andy to have a real relationship, but she leaves town to keep her job, since one of the terms of the suspension was for Swerk and McNally to not see each other, which leaves him disoriented. In the beginning of Season 3, Andy convinces him to restart the relationship, although he wants to take it slow. He has a sister, Sarah, who was attacked as a kid, and that is why he became a cop. When Andy's mother reappears in her life, he investigates her, and we see that he doesn't like or trust Claire because he blames her for Andy's pain. When Detective Barber dies, he goes into a dark place and starts to question Andy's instincts as a cop. He then wonders how much he will sacrifice for their relationship, so he breaks up with her saying that he cannot take it anymore. Everyone tells him how foolish he is for what he's done, but he has already noticed. When he sees Andy terrified and holding a grenade, he confesses his love for her. Then he tries to convince her that breaking up was a mistake, that he will do anything to make it up to her, but she is hurt and not sure he means it. He asks her for drinks, but he is left waiting as she is already gone for the task force without talking to him. In Season 4, he becomes detective and has been dating Officer Marlo Cruz. He was shot in the last episode of Season 4. Lyrique Bent portrays Frank Best. In the first episode of the series, it was revealed that he was newly divorced. Frank was a training officer until he was promoted to staff sergeant after Boyko was promoted and departed in the episode Honor Roll. During Season 2, he became romantically involved with Officer Noelle Williams. In Season 3, their daughter was born. In Season 4, Frank proposed to Noelle after a fake homicide involving Peck and Dove was staged. They later married. In Season 5, after the events concluding Season 4, Frank is released as Staff Sergeant. Matt Gordon portrays Oliver Shaw, one of the rookies' training officers and a veteran of the police force. He is the kind of cop who does an unregistered trademark go looking for trouble but doesn't shy away from it when it finds him. He is one of the few older police officers with a functional marriage and family, having a wife and 3 daughters, but he is kicked out by his wife in Episode 9 of Season 2 after she finds out that he went to a strip club. He and his wife had been on and off before he realizes that she was in love with someone else. He then files for divorce and moves out. He is dating a witch named Celery, played by Emily Hampshire. He is promoted to Staff Sergeant in Season 5. Noam Jenkins portrays Jerry Barber. A divorce detective at 15 Division, he actively participated in operations and stings, coordinating officers and other resources at his disposal. He later became Tracy's boyfriend and eventually sold his car, Stella, as sign that he wants to be serious and being more family-oriented. Detective Barber died in Episode 9 of Season 3 due to a fatal stab wound to the abdomen while trying to solve Peck's kidnapping. Eric Johnson portrays Luke Callahan. A homicide detective at 15 Division, he is tireless and exceedingly charming. He was involved in a relationship with McNally until he cheated on her with his ex-girlfriend, Jo Rosati. McNally ends the relationship, but Luke wants her back, and the fallout causes Jo Rosati to leave 15 Division. He is heartbroken but eventually accepts that Andy doesn't want him back. This is particularly seen when he discovers that Andy and Sam had been seeing each other while Sam was undercover. He is gone half of 3rd season due to a task force mission. He comes back after Gail's kidnapping. At the end of the season, he asks Andy and Nick to participate in the task force with him. Melanie Nichols-King portrays Noelle Williams. Another training officer and veteran of the police force, she hoped to become head of 15 Division but was beaten out by Frank Best. Noelle is not only great at her job, but she is also an invaluable mentor for the rookies in her division. During the first season, she was trying to get pregnant with the aid of hormone injections. She was caught by Tracy who subsequently helped her. In Episode 9 of Season 2, she and Frank Best kiss, embarking on a relationship. It is revealed in the finale of Season 2 that Noelle is pregnant with Frank Best's child and in the beginning of the 3rd season, she is keeping it a secret. But in Episode 9 of Season 3, she goes into labor a month early and delivers a healthy baby girl named Olivia. In Season 4, she becomes engaged to Staff Sergeant Frank Best after he proposes to her following a faked homicide involving officers Peck and Epstein. Rachel Ann Cheryl portrays Marlo Cruz, Noelle's replacement, as Noelle was on maternity leave. During the 6 months in which Andy and Nick are away, Sam moves on and enters into a relationship with her. She is well liked by everyone, but she and Andy end up in situations together as partners, and the tension between them builds. It is later revealed that she is bipolar, and she tells Andy, who promises to keep her secret. In Episode 12 of Season 4, Marlo's obsession with proving a man is a child molester causes her condition to take her over. When the man is attacked after Marlo confronted him, Andy tells Sam about Marlo being bipolar and they try to hide her involvement in the case. Her job is on the line, after she may have caused something very tragic for 15 Division. Aidan Devine portrays Sergeant Boyko, until his departure in Episode 8 of Season 1. Supporting characters: Peter MacNeill portrays Tommy McNally. He is Andy's father. Formerly a homicide detective, he has a drinking problem. His wife, Claire, abandoned him and Andy when she was a kid. In the first season, Andy tries to help him. He refuses at first but finally agrees after she gives him an ultimatum. In episode 11 of season 1, he becomes a murder suspect. Swerk and Andy try to prove that he didn't do it, and they succeed. Barbara Williams portrays Claire McNally. She is Andy's mother. She works in social services. She had an affair with a professor when Andy was a kid and asked her to leave with her, which Andy refused. Andy's father then gets custody of her and forbids Claire to talk to or visit her, as she was confused and hurt. She comes back into her life during a work case, which reveals lots of contradictory emotions for both of them. Andy finally accepts her back, and during the season, we see them doing some mother-daughter things together. Aaron Abrams portrays Donovan Boyd. He is a guns and gangs detective who seems to be always over the edge. He is the one who drags Swerk into undercover operations. He gets ticked off with Andy when she and Chris arrest a drug dealer who is part of an operation that he is running on the dark, which makes him look like a fool. At the end of the second season, he recruits Andy, Tracy and Dov to go on a little scavenger hunt to accumulate drugs and money. That ends with Andy running into Swerk, who is also on an undercover operation with a dangerous criminal, Jamie Brennan. Boyd is responsible for the cover-up of Brennan's wife and daughter's murder, which puts Sam at risk as Boyd didn't create a proper cover story for Swerk. Camille Sullivan portrays Joe Rosati. Appears from episode 1 to 7 in the second season. She is a homicide detective. She was engaged to Luke, as they were partnered together for 3 years before leaving to pursue a career opportunity that only one of them could take even though Luke wanted them to stay together. She comes back to 15 Division trying to get Luke back, just to find out he is with Andy now. This situation puts her in the middle of Luke and Andy's relationship. After Luke is shot, she convinces him to do a surveillance job in a hotel room, and they hook up in the end. While partnered with Andy, the truth comes out, and Andy calls off the engagement. Luke asks her to leave because he wants to get Andy back. Mariko Nguyen portrays Sue Tran. She is a bomb technician for ETF. She meets Dov when he is trapped by a bomb in a drug lab and saves him. On their first date she helps him solve a robbery bank case. In the beginning of season 3 it seems that they lived together. Later on, Dov breaks up with her because of his feelings for the sister of the boy he shot. Alia O'Brien portrays Holly Stewart. Appears for the first time in season 4 episode 7. She is a forensic pathologist who soon becomes one of Gail's closest friends and later girlfriend when they encounter during an investigation. Holly Stewart is a lesbian. At the end of season 4, Holly and Gail begin a tentative relationship. Jim Quadrington portrays ETF Sergeant Bailey. He is seen throughout seasons 3 to 5 with his team helping the officers of 15 Division. Adam McDonald portrays Steve Peck. Steve is Gail's older brother and a detective in the Guns and Gangs Division. He is partnered up with Tracy to serve as a distraction from dealing with the copycat of the man that murdered Jerry, her dead fiancé. He ends up having feelings for Tracy which are reciprocated, but she doesn't think it's the right time. Emily Hampshire portrays Celery. Celery is dating Oliver. Oliver first met her when she was arrested with suspicion of poisoning somebody, but it was soon very obvious that she had nothing to do with it. Oliver later takes her to Frank's wedding and this was like their first date. Production and development: the series is produced by E1 Entertainment, Can West, and Thump, Incorporated. The pilot script was written by Eleanor Frank. In February 2009, Can West ordered the show straight to series with a 13-episode order under the working title Copper. ABC purchased the U.S. broadcast rights to the series in April 2009. The first role cast was Andy McNally, portrayed by Missy Peregrym, followed by Gregory Smith cast as Dov Epstein. Additional casting was announced in early July. Production began in Toronto, Ontario, on July 14, 2009, and was expected to continue through November 2009. 13 episodes were produced. On June 21, 2010, the Accessible Channel announced that Rookie Blue would be the first series to premiere with a simultaneous described video broadcast for people with vision impairments. Filming of the second season took place between September 1, 2010 and January 25, 2011. Tassie Cameron serves as head writer and the series showrunner. Filming of the third season took place between August 25, 2011 and January 23, 2012. Filming of the fourth season took place between August 20, 2012 and January 25, 2013. Filming of the fifth season started on January 20, 2014. Reception, ratings. The Canadian premiere drew an audience of 1.9 million viewers with 712,000 in the 18 Euro 49 category, placing first for the night and second for the week. It is the highest-rated premiere for a Cannes West-commissioned drama series within the previous 5 years. In the U.S., the premiere drew 7.253 million viewers and an audience share in the 18 Euro 49 category of 2.0 out of 6. Furthermore, it improved upon the programming a year beforehand by having plus 1.6 million viewers and plus 18% in the 18 Euro 49 age group. The premiere became the most successful scripted summer debut in over a year and in nearly 6 years for ABC. Critical reception. Metacritic summarizes the response as mixed or average reviews. One of the more favorable reviews came from Alessandra Stanley of the New York Times, saying it's not a groundbreaking police drama, nor is it divertingly cheesy. It's well-made and well-meaning. Robert Lloyd from the Los Angeles Times was also favorable with the show, and agreed with Stanley describing it as nothing new to television, but he rather enjoyed it and saying Rookie Blue doesn't oversell itself. It is modest and plain in a way that makes even its less likely moments feel credible enough. Rob Salem of the Toronto Star favorably compared the series to Grey's Anatomy. Call it Blue's Anatomy. Salem found the show slickly produced and engagingly acted, and had a particular fondness for Missy Peregrym's character, which he described as the Meredith surrogate. The Globe and Mail's television critic, John Doyle, described Rookie Blue as a good cop show with a terrible title. Doyle went on to say it's a very slick, glossy melodrama, all handsome actors and admirably sharp storylines. Yet it's true to its Toronto roots. Among the more negative reviewers was Rob Owen of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Owen calls the show Grey's Anatomy in a police station. He did however hope to see some interaction between religion and police through one of the characters but stated given the generally bland nature of Rookie Blue, that's probably too much to ask. Paige Weiser from the Chicago Sun-Times describes the show as overly generic and claims that the rookies look more like puppies than police officers. She said if you're looking for a new cop drama to serve and protect your entertainment interests, leave the rookies alone to ripen, and go for a ride along with Jason Lee's Dwight. Randy Dorn from The Hollywood Reporter was much harsher, calling the writing lazy and describing the motivation of the rookies as selfish, saying that they are there to make themselves feel good and not to protect the city. Dorn said at its core, Rookie is a terrible show. Alex Strachan of Montreal's The Gazette was unimpressed, stating that the acting is uneven, the writing and directing aren't particularly stylish or inspired, and you've seen it countless times before. Strachan went on to say that Rookie Blue is a harmless enough diversion on an otherwise lazy summer TV night. Awards and nominations. Broadcast. Rookie Blue is distributed by E1 Entertainment. NBC Universal Global Networks purchased broadcast rights in all markets except Canada, France, Germany, and the United States. DVD releases. Entertainment One releases the show on DVD and a few season on Blu-ray in Region 1. The Canadian releases contain an additional French audio track and the Canadian Blu-ray releases 3 discs instead of 4. References. External links. Official website for Global, official website for ABC, Rookie Blue at the Internet Movie Database, rookieblue@tv.com.